Hello, everyone. This is Molly with Heartbeat Narratives, and I was walking down the street here in Kīhei on the island of Maui, and I heard this beautiful music, and it really felt like it was from the heart, and I wanted to come talk to you because it felt like you were just radiating joy with your instrument. So what is your name?
My name's Don Lax.
And what do you play?
I play the violin, and I was actually playing another instrument that you didn't hear tonight called a hurdy-gurdy.
What is a hurdy-gurdy?
A hurdy-gurdy is an instrument made originally more than 1,000 years ago to accompany the chant in the churches, but then the minstrels got a hold of them because the first ones were so big that it took 2 monks to play one.
Oh, wow.
One monk would turn the crank, and the other one would push and pull the keys that change the notes. And the crank turns a wheel, and the wheel has rosin on it like a violin bow. And there's a drone string that just plays the same note over and over. And then these are sympathetic strings, they just ring. And then this is the melody string that goes up through this middle place where the keys are, and the keys change the notes. And then this, when the minstrels would go into the villages, the villagers would want to dance, so they added this buzzing bridge that the third string is going to buzz if I give it a crank.
Incredible. I feel like I'm in 1700s Scotland.
Yeah, exactly. It was reaching its peak in the 1700s. Baroque composers fell in love with it. Vivaldi wrote a hurdy-gurdy concerto. It was being played at the court of Louis XIV. So it's a pretty amazing instrument.
Thank you so much for giving us a little sample of that. So you were playing the violin earlier.
Playing this other instrument.
And
Yes.
It was magical. We were checking out of the grocery store, and you were playing right outside, and about 7 people inside were clapping when you finished, because it was just such a beautiful experience to be in the grocery store and hear you playing outside. Everyone was like peacefully walking through the aisles because it was such a nicer experience hearing your music.
The vibration, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. Are you going to give us a violin?
I'll give you a little violin too, since we're here live and I just gave you the hurdy-gurdy. This violin, I named her Geneviève because she was made by a Frenchman, but in Cremona, where they make the violins in Italy. This was made almost 250 years ago, so she's a wise old lady.
I'm speechless.
I made it up just for you. You were asking what brings me joy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that brings me the most joy is listening to the song of a person's soul and playing it for the person. When you were standing there and you wanted me to play a little bit of something, I just listened to you and played the music that your soul told me it wanted to hear.
Thank you so much. I was tearing up when you were playing because it just really was resonating with my heart.
Yay.
And I think that's really what pulled me in, and me and my dad to walk into this store in the first place was like, ooh, I kind of want to hear a little bit more of what you're playing in the first place. How did you get into music?
My dad was a spy, and so I grew up all over the world, Washington, D.C., Paris, and then we were in Karachi when I was 5 years old, Pakistan. And my mom took me to a Christmas fair, and I walked into this tent, and there's this woman standing alone in a spotlight playing gypsy music on the violin. And my father was from Romania originally. His ancestry is Romania. And here's this gypsy music, and I don't know why, but I went home and I wrote a letter to Santa Claus, and I said 10 impossible things, like rocket ships, aircraft carriers, like impossible things for 5-year-olds. And then at the bottom of the list, I said, and a violin for Christmas. And it came under the Christmas tree. And then I never stopped.
And you've been trained, clearly. You've played your whole life. Where did you really dive into music as a youth and then into your adult life?
Right there I started, and then we moved to India, and I got to study with a woman who had trained in Oxford, and then Washington, D.C. After that, I had joined a little youth orchestra and had another good teacher. And then we moved to Paris, and I got to go to my first music school. I went to a very well-known conservatory, and learning from in an environment like that where it's all about music changed me. Then we were back in Washington, D.C. again, and then we went and I studied actually with the assistant concertmaster of the National Symphony, and I played in a bunch of orchestras and stuff. And then I had finished high school, and I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go to music school, and we were going to Rome. And Rome had one of the best music schools in the world, Conservatorio Santa Cecilia di Roma. And I applied and got in and studied there. And straight out of that school, I joined an Italian rock band and totally freaked my parents out. But we played within less than a year of me joining the band. We played for 150,000 people, an outdoor, really famous outdoor concert called Villa Pamphili. And I just kept going from there.
There are so many directions I could go from everything that you just shared. But I think what is striking me is, how do you listen to the vibration of a person's soul? What is that process for you?
Well, I feel like the way I grew up, my spirituality was exposed to a lot of different influences, and I'm psychic anyway. And I just have the capacity to get really silent inside myself. And then what I hear is the song of the person. And I can do it for a group too. It's not as personal, but it's the vibration of the group. And so when we do sound healings, there's a certain point where I say, everybody listen to the song of your own soul. And then I'm here listening to the group, and I play for the whole group.
Do you play across Maui and Hawaii? I'm curious what else do you do, because we're meeting you here in Kīhei, but I imagine you're in demand in other places.
Well, for my first 23 years on Maui, I played 7 nights a week at the Four Seasons with a great guitarist. Famous people would come every year to hear us play. But since COVID, I haven't had that. But all the time I've been on Maui, I've played for weddings. And so I play for weddings all over Maui, all over Hawaii. And I play for conventions too, like corporate events. For instance, they just asked me at Four Seasons to play electric violin in the lobby for the week before Christmas. So work's coming back. That's the good news.
I'm I'm glad to hear that, because what a privilege it is just to hear your music walking past, but to actually be in an audience or a family event like a wedding. What a blessing.
It's really fun for me too. Yeah.
You've lived all over the world, and clearly Maui is home for you now. What is it about Maui that keeps you here in Hawaii?
It's the warm ocean. I love all of Maui. It's Maui herself, because I really heard her say when I first came here, before I had moved here, this is where you belong. I lived all over the world, but I've lived here 30 years. I've never lived someplace 30 years in my life. But I'm a long-distance swimmer. My dad was a champion athlete, as well as everything else he did, speaking multiple languages fluently and stuff. He was a very brilliant man, but my mom was a school teacher and a champion swimmer, and she taught me to swim very young. We lived in Pakistan and India, where you had to go to the ocean just to cool off. And then moving here, it's like, this water is so clean and clear, and I swim with dolphins, I swim with whales. I made a CD with the whales, and it's just, I think the ocean is the life of the planet, and I'm just so gloriously happy. Even if I'm not happy, if I go in the ocean, I'm happy afterward. The violin, too.
Yeah. The healing waters of the Pacific.
Exactly.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about pursuing joy or your career or anything about music that our conversation sparked?
I just really appreciate that your heart could hear my heart, and that we had this talk. And I just say, if people wonder whether they should be following their joy, the answer is totally yes. Why else be alive?
Don, it was such a pleasure to meet you. What a gift. I was not expecting this on a Sunday night. So, mahalo nui.
I'm pretty regular here on Sunday nights. If I can make it, I'll be here from 6 to 8.
Okay, perfect. And this is
Hawaiian Moons Health Food Store in Kīhei.
Come on by on Sundays.
All right.
Mahalo, everyone, for tuning in. Take care. Aloha.
Aloha.